I want you to think about the last time you understood something in English. Not translated it, actually understood it. There's a difference. Most people studying English for years never feel that. Not because they're bad at languages, because nobody told them the one thing that actually changes it. I'm going to tell you that today. Give me just 15 minutes today, and you'll never think about English learning the same way. Six months. That's the whole conversation today. Not 5 years. Not someday when I'm ready. 6 months of one thing done consistently can move you from feeling stuck to feeling genuinely free in English. But I want to say something uncomfortable before we get into it. What most people are doing right now, it's not working. And it's not because they're not trying hard enough. It's because they're doing the wrong thing entirely. 20 minutes of grammar. Close the book. Go back to real life. And then wondering why nothing moves. Why English still feels foreign after 2 years, 3 years, sometimes more. That method is not broken because you're doing it wrong. It's broken because it was never designed to actually work. That's not how language gets in. It was never how language got in. Think about your first language. Did you sit down with a grammar book? Did someone explain to you what a verb tense was before you could speak? No. You were just surrounded by it. All day, every day, people talking around you, words connecting to feelings, to objects, to moments. And slowly, without studying anything, the language became yours. You didn't learn it. It got in. That's what we're trying to recreate. Not a method, not a shortcut. Just living inside the language until it starts to feel like home. The word for this is immersion. And I know that word gets used a lot, but most people misunderstand what it actually means. Immersion is not watching one English video a day. Immersion is not having one conversation per week. Immersion means English is there, all the time, in the background, in the foreground. When you wake up, when you eat, when you're doing nothing in particular, English is just present. Like weather, you don't turn it on and off. It's just there. I already know the objection. Camila, I don't live in an English-speaking country. I don't have anyone to talk to. And both of those things might be completely true, but you do have something, a phone, headphones, an internet connection. The environment doesn't have to be physically real to work. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a podcast from London and someone sitting next to you on a bus in London. It just hears English, and it adjusts. The only requirement is that it's constant. Not perfect, constant. Your morning is where this starts. Not because mornings are magical, but because whatever your brain hears first sets the tone for everything that comes after. Most people wake up and go straight back to their own language, which makes sense. It's warm, it's familiar, it's easy. But it also means English stays this separate thing. Something you do later, when you have energy, when you feel motivated, and later often becomes never. What if instead the first sound your brain heard was English? Not a lesson, nothing that requires concentration. A podcast playing while you make coffee. A YouTube video in this background while you get dressed. You don't even need to follow it closely. You're not being tested. Your brain is just receiving, catching the rhythm, the sounds, the way sentences feel before you even understand what they mean. That part matters more than most people realize. Because language is not just words, it's music. And your brain needs to hear the music before the words start making sense. Here's something I really want you to sit with. Understanding is not the only goal, especially at the beginning. When you listen and you catch nothing, it feels like you're failing, like you're wasting your time. Like maybe you're just not good at this. You're not failing. You're in the part that nobody talks about. Your ears are adjusting. Your brain is learning what English sounds like from the inside. Not just the vocabulary, the pace, the rhythm, the way a native speaker's voice moves between words, the sounds that don't exist in your language. Your brain has to build new pathways for all of that. And it can't do it in a week. Week 1, you catch a word here and there. Week 3, you catch a phrase. Month 2, you catch the idea. Month 4, you stop counting. Because it's just happening. You don't notice it building. And then one day you understand something without stopping to translate. It just landed. That moment feels unreal the first time. But it came from all those hours you spent listening and thinking nothing was working. Every single one of them counted. During the day, keep it going. Not with effort, just with habit. Walking somewhere, English in your ears. Cooking, English in this background. Waiting for something, English. You're not studying. You're just letting it be there. And over time, your brain stops treating English as foreign input and starts treating it as normal, as familiar. That shift is everything. Now speaking, this is where almost everyone freezes. I'll speak when my English is better. I'll speak when I find a native speaker to practice with. I'll speak when I feel ready. I've heard every version of this, and I understand it. Speaking feels exposed. When you speak, people can hear your mistakes. They can hear your accent. They can hear you searching for a word. It feels vulnerable in a way that listening doesn't. But here's the thing. Ready doesn't come first. Speaking is how you get ready. It's not the result. It's the process. And you don't need another person to start. Talk to yourself. Out loud. Right now if you want. Describe what's happening around you. I'm watching a video. She's talking about English. I'm sitting at my desk. It's quiet outside. 4 sentences. Nobody heard them. Nobody judged them. But your mouth just practiced. Your tongue just learned the shape of those sounds. And that's real. Every time you do it, something tiny shifts. You don't feel it in the moment, but it accumulates. And after a few months, you'll notice words coming out faster, sentences forming before you finish thinking them. That's not talent. That's just what happens when your mouth has been practicing. There's a specific technique I want you to try. It's called shadowing. If you've never done it, please try it after this video. The idea is simple. You listen to a sentence. Then immediately out loud you repeat it. Not after a pause. Immediately. And not just the words. The speed, the rise and fall of the voice, the little breath between phrases. You're copying everything. Like an actor learning a role. It feels strange at first. You'll probably laugh at yourself. That's fine. Laugh and keep going. Because after a few weeks, something real changes. Your mouth starts moving differently. English stops feeling like a shape your face has to force. It starts feeling like something your body already knows how to do. And that feeling is when speaking stops being scary and starts being just talking. End your day in English too, not with something hard. 1 page of a book, a short article, even a few paragraphs. The goal isn't comprehension. The goal is finishing your day the same way you started it, with English. So your brain goes to sleep having spent the whole day inside the language. Morning to night, not perfectly, but consistently. That consistency is what 6 months is built on. Now the inside part, because listening and speaking are external. But what happens in your head is just as important. Most learners run a constant translation. They hear something in English, go to their own language to understand it, come back to English to respond. That round trip takes time, and it makes every conversation feel like hard work. Like you're always half a second behind. The goal is to cut out the middle step. To think directly in English. Not translate. Just think. 5 minutes a day is enough to start building that. Ask yourself something simple. In English, what do I actually want for dinner tonight? And answer in English. Don't look up words. Use what you have. Something warm. Not too heavy. Maybe soup, maybe pasta. Simple. Imperfect. Doesn't matter. What matters is your brain went there directly. No detour. And you do that for 5 minutes. Every day. And at some point, without deciding to, you'll notice your thoughts arriving in English. When you didn't ask them to. While you're walking somewhere. While you're waiting. While you're doing something completely unrelated. That's not a small thing. That's your brain treating English as a real language, instead of a subject you study. That's the shift everything else is working toward. I want to talk honestly about month 2, because nobody warns you about month 2. Month 1 is usually fine. You're motivated. The habit is new. You feel good about yourself for starting. Month 2 is different. The novelty is completely gone. Progress feels invisible. You're not noticeably better than when you started. Or at least it doesn't feel that way. And this voice starts. Quiet at first. Maybe I'm just not a language person. Maybe it's too late for me. Maybe other people find this easier and I'm missing something. That voice feels very convincing. It sounds like honesty, but it's not. It's just what happens when the brain is doing hard work and hasn't seen the results yet. Language progress is not a straight line. It's long, flat stretches, with sudden jumps you don't see coming. If you quit in month 2, you quit right before the first jump. Almost every single time. The people who reach fluency are not the ones with the most talent. They're the ones who stayed through month 2. So what do you do when that voice shows up? You don't fight it. Fighting it takes energy. You just replace it with something true. Not fake positivity. Not, I'm amazing at this. Nobody believes that. Just something honest and small. I understood a sentence today that I wouldn't have caught last month. I said something without stopping to think about it. I'm still here. I didn't quit. Specific, true, small enough to actually believe. That's what carries you through the flat parts. Not motivation, not inspiration, just one small true thing you can hold on to. When the voice gets loud, 6 months looks like this. You wake up. English is the first thing your brain hears. During the day, it stays in the background. When you're alone, you speak out loud. Even if it's just a few sentences. 5 minutes somewhere in your day, you think in English. No translation. Before bed, you read a little something. Not a lot. Just enough to close the day in the language. And when month 2 arrives and gets heavy, you stay anyway. That's it. That's the whole plan. Not perfect. Not impressive from the outside. Just consistent. Day after day. For 6 months. And on the other side of that, you will not recognize your English. I genuinely mean that. Not a feel-good line at the end of a video. As something I know to be true. Start today, not Monday. Not when things calm down. Today. Right now. The first step is already done. You just spent 20 minutes in English.